Okay guys, so the 2.5 finally has what it needs. So what we're going to do is install said parts, crack a beer, and enjoy that. Oh yeah. Hot day out, you know. Anyways, get on with it here. So, we've already taken the liberty of removing all the screws, except for two. Got a two-stroke one there. And we're going to install a super cool crankshaft. I think this sleeve is going to come out pretty easy, I hope. Where's my thingamabobber here? Need to find a chopstick. I'll be right back. Chopstick. Oh. Close enough. That might work. Bamboo skewer. Let's see if that works. And it worked. Might need to grab my little pliers. We'll see. Okay. Fresh crank, new bearings. Okay, so a lot of people ask, the Bug 404, how do I get more power to my 2.5? Well, put a 3.3 crank in there. I don't know if I have a 2.5 crank. Let me go look for a minute here real quick. I'll be right back. Just hang on a second. Well, I looked, and I don't have one. I guess I threw all the stock cranks away. But anyways, so let's go on with it here. So what we're looking at is, some of the extra oil in there. The crankshaft upgrade. So like I was saying, there is the 3.3 crank. If you have a bunch of old Traxxas engines laying around, just compare the 3.3 crank on a scale to the 2.5 crank, and also look at the gas passage here and here. The crank out of 3.3 is bigger. It's not a lot. They share the same stroke. Connecting rods are the same length, but this is lighter, better design, it flows better, and 2.5s really respond well to a 3.3 crank. So keep that in mind. But what we're going to exchange that for, I was able to find one more on eBay. What in the hell is that? Anyways. We're throwing a serial crank in there that I was able to find for a pretty good deal. So let's see what we got here. As you can see, those intake ports are, well, the one on the serial crank, this one here, is freaking massive. As you can see. Pretty nice stuff. So they don't make these anymore, which is the shits, but occasionally do come up for sale on eBay once in a while if you're lucky you can get one. They're kind of expensive. I got both of mine for a relatively reasonable priced. And people say, oh, you're not going to see any difference. Oh, yes, you will. Let me assure you that. You will see a big difference. So we're going to stick, this already has oil on it, but just for the people that hate it when I extra oil stuff. Oh, hold on here. Oh, look at that. I just ruined that perfectly nice Italian crankshaft. Ruined. It's finished. Look at that. Garbage now. Oh, yeah. That's for you, paper towel boy. Oh, by the way, just to piss off absolutely everybody out there, I pre-fill my car oil filters with oil before I put them on. I hope that annoys the shit out of a lot of people. Someone said recently, you don't think the Bug 404 is a people person. No, I'm actually a very nice person. I just can't tolerate stupid people, that's all. But that's about it. I just cannot tolerate stupidity. Since there's so much of it out there and so much shit information, it drives me insane, especially you guys coming in here going, oh, I heard this. Well, what you heard was not true. Not in the slightest little bit true. There's a lot of people out there, and they're a blight. They're a bane on our existence here on Earth. Enough to drive you up the freaking wall. Anyways, So this also does have brand new bearings in it. These are NTN bearings, I believe. So they're made in Japan. They're carbon steel. They're very nice. I run them quite often and have never once had an issue. Avid bearings are good. What is the other ones there? Avid. There's Acer bearings are good too. NTN. Koyo. There's a handful of other ones that are really good. Keep in mind, you can see that. Oh, isn't that beautiful? A lot of people go, wow, you know, I need to buy these bearings. It says RC on it. But just keep in mind that a lot of RC companies just buy bearings, put their name on it, and charge out the ass for it. Just grabbing some photos for the group there. Also, Nitro RC Enthusiast group, guys. If I don't get back to you in the comments, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just I get so many of them. And it's a lot of the same questions. So go hit up the Nitro RC Enthusiast group on Facebook. So, if you look, focused, stupid, come on. Where are we at here? Alright, see how there's an oil hole right there. So when you're changing the rod on one of these, which you should change every so often, the oil hole side right here faces the same side as the skirt cut out in the piston. The skirt and the piston faces opposite. So when the piston goes in, you want it this way. The long side of the skirt facing towards the exhaust. Not this way. It will run with the piston backwards, but it won't run good. You won't be able to figure out why it doesn't run properly. It'll pull your freaking hair out trying to figure that out. So keep that in mind. Because a lot of people put them in backwards. See? Just lift up that rod. Drop it on the crank. Just like that. Nice and easy. A lot of people go, oh, well, you know, freaking this, that, the other. No, you don't have to worry about that. Just pay attention to what you're doing. You'll be okay. Not the end of the world. People always ask me why I always have my exhaust ports stuffed with paper towel. And it's not stuffed in there deep. It's just to keep corrosion out. And I'll see, I'll pull it out for you. See, it's just in a little bit soaked in oil so no moisture can get in. That's the only reason why I do that. There's already oil in the sleeve, so we're not going to bother oiling it more. And this side of the sleeve with the biggest port faces towards the exhaust. There's also a notch right there. And just wiggle the crank. The piston will eventually find its home. Oh, there you go. You have to just kind of wiggle it back and forth a little bit, and eventually it'll go in. That's what she said. There. Like so. And if it lifts up the sleeve like this, that's normal. That means the engine's in good shape. You can see here. Oh, look at that crank. Pretty wild looking. A lot different than the factory one. This 2.5 should scream like an idiot. It's going in the, I was going to say the Jado. Well, it's almost like a Jado, I guess, but the freaking, oh, the Wrestler. So, cylinder heads. You don't need to replace this gasket every time you take the cylinder head off. It's not a crush gasket. We'll line up our cylinder head, which goes this way. And we're going to tighten this down. So this 2.5 millimeter. We're not going to tighten one screw all the way. We're just going to tighten it till we feel it tighten, then back off. If you look, watch really carefully. See when I tighten it, lifts the cylinder head to the side. See that? That's not good. Back it off. Start on the next one. Because if you tighten down just one, tighten it just a little bit, and then go across to the other, you'll just feel it just start to bottom a little bit. Go to the next. And go to the next. That's important because a lot of people will crank down one screw all the way tight and wonder why the cylinder head won't seal. When you go in a star pattern and start tightening. You keep going like that all the way around until they're all tight. click, and click. So no, and also another question I get often, putting a 3.3 crank in a 2.5 does not make it a stroker, as they are both the same stroke length. It doesn't work like that in this engine. One goes, oh, I got a 2.5 stroker. Yeah, so did my ex-wife once. This is her new boyfriend with his 2.5-inch stroker. Fucking disaster on two legs. Disgusting. Joke's on me, I guess. Oh well. So same thing here. Run these down adjacent to each other. Never just tighten one. Tighten them always in a crisscross or a star pattern. Make sure the engine rotates nice and free. Click. 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 And click to the factory torque specification sequence. There. Crankshaft upgrade. The, what the fuck is it called? The serial crank. That one. There's that part number if you want to search that. Just pause on it for a minute. Anyhow, so the oil that I'm using here is this 530 synthetic car engine oil. No problem. I also have the RPM head protector. This engine is actually going to go in the Rustler at one point or another. I have a 2.5 kit coming for it. The 2.5 upgrade kit. We're going to be running the rider pipe on it. It already has a low-C 3.4 carburetor. I know it doesn't look like it, but I put the Traxxas boot and spring on here, which makes it return a lot easier because the factory rubber boots are very, very tough, and they kind of hold your throttle open a little bit if it doesn't push it shuttle away. So the Traxxas boot is much better. Same little return spring that goes inside there. It fits a low-C carbs, no problem. And that's just an HPI air filter with half a Traxxas air cleaner thing glued to it to make it work. But there you go. So there, it's these things with a carb upgrade run awesome. If you put like the OS 11K on there, they run amazing. You put a 3.3 crank with it, top notch. Serial crank even better. But yeah, for all you guys out there that have 2.5s or 3.3s, the OS 11K carburetor. I know if you have the 2.5, just put it against the 3.3 crank side to side and you'll see the difference. The 3.3 cranks perform awesome in those engines, or these engines rather. Anyways guys, hopefully that's helpful or you find that interesting. Anyways guys, as always, thanks for watching. And keep on burning nitro out there. There'll be more to come later. Getting better at walking here, so hopefully it'll be a nitro vid soon. Later. Happy Monday.